Tonight, we're hitting the streets of Chennai after dark, hunting down 5 crazy street foods you won't find anywhere else. We're on a mission to discover the best late-night foods this South Indian city has to offer. By the end of this episode, you'll find a dish that can only be found after 11:30 p.m. But first, let's kick off our after-hours tour with a late-night dinner. It's 9 p.m. on the dot, and we've pulled up at a tiny Chennai joint famous for a vegetarian soup that's been pretending to be a meat-flavored dish for ages.
There
was demand for kailan, and my customers kept asking me to add them. It's a good vegetarian alternative here for an evening snack, and it doesn't affect the stomach. So everyone from all age groups from 6 to 60-year-olds enjoys this.
Say hello to kailan, also known as roadside mushroom. This Indo-Chinese vegetarian soup has got some spiced up mushrooms that remarkably mimic the flavor of meat. To make it, add this stall's secret CSI classified gravy into a pan. Its covert ingredients include mushrooms, turmeric, chili, coriander, garam masala, white flour, and corn flour. Next, add fried white button mushrooms. These deep-fried soldiers were coated in turmeric powder, chili powder, coriander powder, garam masala, maida, and corn flour. Then add chicken masala and let it thicken. Finally, serve with raw chopped red onions and, did I read that right? Cornflakes. The final result is more like a stew than a soup, but who's focused on the details at this time of night? This creation is a quirky blend of mushrooms, onions, and cornflakes, blended together and all soaking up that top secret sauce. Our second dinner hits at 10 p.m. and after all those veggies, I'm craving something more, shall we say, chickeny. So it's time to add a little bit of cluck to our late night look.
I
heard about Japanese chicken for the first time 3 years ago through a friend from abroad. I especially love the flavors of it. I have made some modifications to the recipe and I'm selling it here now. The difference here is I have not only made it palatable for chicken lovers, but also for pasta lovers as well.
Meet the Japan chicken, a dish that's more Chennai than Tokyo despite its name. This crispy delight is a local favorite that's got the city of Chennai buzzing. Whipping it up is surprisingly simple. Start by melting butter in a pan and tossing in a spoonful of maida, or white flour, along with carrots, green bell peppers, and onions. Next, cue the white sauce, made with chili flakes, white pepper, black pepper, and a dash of milk. Once the sauce is thicker than a 4 p.m. LA traffic jam, throw in those golden chicken nuggets and mix them until they're coated in sauce. Top it off with fresh coriander and fresh cream because, well, we're fancy like that. And last but not least, sprinkle it with grated cheese because grated cheese makes everything better. The peppery punch of this chicken dish is so good, it almost distracts you from the fact that it's named after a place that it has no association with. Kind of like when your friend insists on being called doctor after taking one CPR class. But weird names aside, at 10 p.m., it's the perfect fuel to keep your late night adventure going. As the city dozes off, my appetite is wide awake. Right now, it's midnight, and we're hunting for 3 more unique foods that thrive after dark. Next on the list, a savory classic that's a non-negotiable on any South Indian food lover's list.
Generally, the rice and pulses are soaked and ground for the batter, but I wanted to make the batter here fresh for the customers. Made a mix by myself to make the batter. The speciality of our Adai is we make it thinner than other places to make it crispier, so our customers feel more satisfied with our Adai.
This is Adai Avia, an iconic rice pancake that's had Chennai locals in a chokehold for decades. The Adai batter, a flavorful fusion of rice flour, black gram flour, and water. Mix it with some chickpea flour, red onions, a mixture of mint and coriander leaves. Next, spice things up with green chilies, salt, Kashmiri red chili, and water. Heat up our trusty tawa and pour in the batter. Drizzled in oil, then let it sizzle and solidify before flipping it. Serve it with avial, a local stew made from 13 different vegetables, then red chutney and white chutney. You won't stumble upon this gem at your local IHOP. The Adai has a slightly crispy exterior and soft, plush inside. It's the perfect vessel for our creamy and coconutty avial. The curry is filled with an assortment of different vegetables that are slightly cooked, so the crunch factor remains. Infused with a bit of sourness from the curd, this pancake will absolutely jolt you awake. It's 1:30 a.m. and the streets are nearly deserted, but a few dedicated vendors are still out, keeping the flame alive to satisfy the hunger of nocturnal souls like mine. Coming up is the Parota, a staple dinner item across South India. While each restaurant puts its own spin on this beloved dish, the one we stumbled upon feels more like a mad scientist's creation. To assemble this dish, start by folding the Parota dough for that perfect flaky texture. Let it cook on the hot plate until it's beautifully golden. Smash the bread by hand to create its signature puffy texture. Now it's time to make way for the star of the show, our prawn masala, a tomato-based sauce with onions, ginger garlic paste, turmeric, chili powder, and more. Once the prawn masala is thick and warm enough, scoop it onto the Parota bread. Add a few drizzles of mayonnaise sauce and top it with the other bread. Then whisk a couple eggs in a cup and pour it all over our Parota. Fold the cooked eggs into the sandwich and give it a very much needed flip. Drown it in a bit more prawn curry, then split it into 4 pieces and serve. This Frankenstein creation hits all the flavor profiles to satisfy your late night munchies. The prawn sandwich Parota was born from a hot and wild rendezvous between French toast and omelette and prawn curry. See, love triangles do work out in the end. We've got one more dish to go before I inevitably fall into a food coma. It's after 3 a.m. and fortunately for us, we found a 50-year-old restaurant that exclusively opens during the graveyard shift. These guys serve a biryani variation that you've never seen before.
Whenever you come to Chennai, you ask for Semai biryani, they'll take you to Samko. Idiyappam biryani is like, it's a very light food, so you can have it anytime. Even at midnight cravings will be satisfied with this Idiyappam biryani.
Introducing Idiyappam Biryani, a daring invention that has the rice community scratching their heads in bewilderment. Start by adding oil to a pan. Follow it up with diced red onions, curry leaves, cashew nuts, julienne onions, julienne green bell peppers, and more cashew nuts. Then toss it around a bit before cracking in a few eggs. Season with turmeric powder, green chilies, and give it a stir. Then enter the idiyappam. These stringy pancakes are made from steamed rice flour. Top that with chicken meat, boiled in turmeric and a bit of salt. Then toss to combine everything together. Finally, toss in the restaurant's secret yellow gravy, ghee or clarified butter, and mix. This dish is the perfect nighttime indulgence, but heed my advice. Don't wait until the crack of dawn like I did, or you may find yourself having breakfast instead of a late night snack. The string hoppers are delicate and airy, soaking up the delectable blend of spices and chicken essence. And if that wasn't enough, it's served with raita and brinjal gravy for an extra bit of flavor punch. Besties, we've done it. Another night of successful street food hunting. Now it's time to decide which late night street food got the closest to my heart. Was it the soupy vegetarian kalan, the inventive Japan chicken, the power duo of Adai avial, the messy prawn sandwich Parota, or the unique Idiyappam biryani? For me, the biryani absolutely stood out the most. I love that, even now, people find new ways to tackle and reinvent this age-old recipe. So how about you? Which one of these would you order for your next late-night snack? Let us know downstairs in the comments below. And for more indulgent feasts for your senses, be sure to subscribe to Best Ever Food India. Thanks. Bye. Elevate your style with our brand new clothing collection. Rock out in our threads, feel the thrill of culinary adventures, and celebrate with us in style. Head on over to beffers.shop today.